Hello to everyone and welcome back to this channel. We are in the second week of June 2025 and very soon the visa bulletin that should be released in this month will be released. But as we await the publication of that visa bulletin, as usual today I'm here to share with you how far the scheduling of interviews has gone at your different embassies and consulates. So let's go into that. And today we start off in Yerevan, Armenia, where the scheduling of interviews for the Asia region remains at 8,900 plus, and for the Europe region, it remains at 17,800 plus case number range. Libreville, Gabon remains at 43,700 plus. Algiers, Algeria remains at 42,800 plus. In New Delhi, India, still there are no diversity visa interviews scheduled. In Ankara, Turkey, the Africa region remains at 12,900 plus, the Asia region remains at 8,100 plus, and the Europe region remains at 9,100 plus. Kinshasa, the DRC remains at 10,100 plus. Tbilisi, Georgia remains at 18,900 plus. Lusaka, Zambia has increased to 44,800 plus. La Paz, Bolivia remains at 2,200 plus. Lilongwe, Malawi remains at 33,800 plus. Havana, Cuba remains at 2,400 plus. Tirana, Albania remains at 18,900 plus. In Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, the Africa region remains at 34,200 plus, and the Asia region remains at 5,600 plus. In Tokyo, Japan, the Africa region remains at 20,000 plus, the Asia region remains at 8,900 plus, and the Europe region remains at 16,300 plus. In Beirut, Lebanon, still there are no diversity visa interviews scheduled. In Kuwait, the Africa region remains at 39,500 plus, and the Asia region remains at 7,400 plus. Harare, Zimbabwe remains at 40,400 plus. In Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the Africa region remains at 44,000 plus, the Asia region remains at 8,900 plus, and the Europe region remains at 9,800 plus. Casablanca, Morocco remains at 21,800 plus. In Cairo, Egypt, the Africa region remains at 44,900 plus, the Asia region remains at 8,700 plus, and the Europe region remains at 18,300 plus. Luanda, Angola remains at 42,300 plus. In Manama, Bahrain, the Africa region remains at 42,900 plus, and the Asia region remains at 7,700 plus. In Djibouti, the Africa region remains at 38,400 plus, and the Asia region remains at 8,800 plus. In Lagos, Nigeria, still no diversity visa interviews have been scheduled. Rangoon, Burma remains at 7,200 plus. In Islamabad, Pakistan, the Africa region has increased to 22,600 plus. The Asia region has also increased to 8,900 plus, while the Europe region remains at 6,100 plus. In Frankfurt, Germany, the Africa region remains at 37,700 plus, the Asia region remains at 8,700 plus, the Europe region remains at 18,900 plus, and the Oceania region remains at 500 plus. Cotonou, Benin remains at 44,600 plus. A reminder that these are the highest case number ranges where the scheduling of interviews has reached so far at your different embassies and consulates as part of the DV 2025 program. We continue with Abidjan, Ivory Coast, and that embassy remains at 28,000 1,900 plus. Suva, Fiji remains at 1,600 plus. In Napoli, Italy, the Africa region remains at 31,900 plus. The Asia region remains at 8,400 plus, and the Europe region remains at 18,900 plus. In Montreal, Canada, the Africa region remains at 43,800 plus. The Asia region remains at 8,700 plus. The Europe region remains at 18,300 plus, and the Oceania region remains at 1,300 plus. In Amman, Jordan, the Africa region remains at 43,800 plus, and the Asia region remains at 8,900 plus. In Manila, the Philippines, the Africa region remains at 19,400 plus. Dakar, Senegal remains at 31,800 plus. Colombo, Sri Lanka remains at 8,800 plus. In Guangzhou, China, the Africa region remains at 40,300 plus, and the Europe region remains at 17,400 plus. Freetown, Sierra Leone remains at 7,800 plus. Lomé, Togo remains at 41,600 plus. In Paris, France, the Africa region remains at 44,000 plus. The Asia region remains at 8,100 plus, and the Europe region remains at 18,900 plus. Antananarivo, Madagascar remains at 39,600 plus. In Abu Dhabi, the UAE, the Africa region remains at 15,300 plus. The Asia region remains at 7,000 plus, and the Europe region remains at 4,100 plus. In Mumbai, India, the Africa region remains at 44,400 plus. The Asia region remains at 8,100 plus, and the Europe region remains at 11,800 plus. Johannesburg, South Africa remains at 44,700 plus. Monrovia, Liberia remains at 44,900 plus. In Doha, Qatar, the Africa region remains at 42,900 plus, and the Asia region remains at 8,700 plus. Kigali, Rwanda remains at 34,700 plus. Dar es Salaam, Tanzania remains at 20,800 plus. Accra, Ghana remains at 41,600 plus. In Kathmandu, Nepal, the Africa region remains at 8,300 plus, and the Asia region remains at 8,400 plus. Nairobi, Kenya remains at 11,000 plus. Yaoundé, Cameroon remains at 44,900 plus. In London, the UK, the Africa region remains at 43,400 plus. The Asia region remains at 8,600 plus. The Europe region remains at 18,100 plus, and the Oceania region remains at 1,200 plus. And finally, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia remains at 44,400 plus case number range. So that is how far the scheduling of interviews has gone at your different embassies and consulates. Now, as I said earlier, the visa bulletin will be published sometime very soon. So let's look forward to the publication of the bulletin, as that will allow new case numbers to become current for interview in this year's program. But for now, that is all. Thanks for watching this report. See you very soon, God willing, in the next video. Goodbye.